Scoop, I'll finish out with the Detroit Lions, who also didn't make many changes this year either.
I feel like anything I say, I'm just repeating myself from a year ago.
Pretty much.
This whole division is the same rosters as last year. There's no
Same
changes.
dang thing.
Here's what I'll say. I'm gonna go non-players again with regard to the coaching the X Factor, because they've now been a year removed from having both Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson.
Mhm.
So they are a little more adept now or at least should be, at what to do to succeed without having them there. That being said, we also sometimes see guys get a little bit, more regression the further away that the good coaches get. So, Rob, not necessary, by the way. I've still got more.
Okay, good.
But I just don't.
It's early in the morning. We're adjusting with everyone's schedule, but go ahead. Scoop.
I just don't have a strong sense of what their ceiling is without those guys. I can tell it's not as high as it was with them. They also had the unfortunate elephant in the room where they let go of one of their better defensive backs this offseason, who now ends up a Seattle Seahawk. But I just don't know. It's
wow,
like
yeah. This quarterback and safety room. Sorry to interrupt, Scoop. Is pretty rough.
Yes.
I was just gonna say it's like the Packers, where there's position groups I like, and then everything else is basically just cross your fingers.
Yeah, I think as Scoop said, I think the coaching staff is a fair way to view the X factor here, Brandon, because
Yeah. I mean, because it just feels like when it comes to them, there's a lot of, there obviously is a lot of turnover with their coaching staff. And whenever you have a lot of turnover in your coaching staff, you just don't know what you're going to get. You're either going to get, 12, 13 wins, or you're going to get 7. It's like, you don't really know. We already talk about how good, they're the first 4 guys on their depth chart are like on this depth chart on ESPN, Goff, Gibbs, Amon-Ra, and JMO. Like, we know that. But everybody else, they're all, put it this way, this is my favorite O-line in the division. But
does that say more about their O-line or the ones around them?
Yeah, because Penei Sewell, we know, one of the best left tackles in football. I like the addition of Blake Miller, even though he's a rookie. I like, the fact that he's going to get some, a lot of run, this year. And the thing is, if they can turn, Penei Sewell into a guy, well, he was good in college, but if they can continue that in the pros, if Blake Miller becomes like, their, right tackle of the future, then that's great. I still like it. And I mean, at least they've got something of note on the offensive line in Sewell, whereas the other teams kind of don't. So, I don't like that DB room. I said that all last year.
Can I change my answer for X Factor when Brandon's done?
Yes. Yeah. You're more than welcome to.
But I think right now, hell, I don't even like the fact that they're going to make Gibbs was always their number one, even when Montgomery was there, but it was like a 1-2 punch. I don't like the fact that their second guy is Isaiah Pacheco. I don't like that at all.
My man Isaiah, yeah, he's not that great.
And listen, that he's a Jersey guy. I understand he's a Rutgers guy, but once he started getting hurt in Kansas City, that was basically the end of him. He's nowhere near as explosive as he was. Mr. Run angry, run like a toddler kind of thing. That's gone. So I don't know if I like Gibbs being the bell cow, because he's at his best when you keep him fresh. So I don't know. I would assume he's ready for that workload, being behind, not behind, but being with Montgomery the last 2 years. I would assume that he's ready for that, but we'll see. Honestly, I don't like the fact that we talk about how good Sam Laporta is, but he's not healthy. So honestly, you know what I'm gonna do here, because I'm actually thinking about this more and more. And I listen. I could pick anybody across their team, but what I'm thinking here, I'm actually gonna go a little bit outside of where my comfort zone would be in terms of X factors. I'm gonna say Sam Laporta, and you know why? Because Goff, and I've said this before.
Shane said Pacheco was never good. It's okay to admit
Yeah.
it. I'm a Pacheco apologist, so
Goff is Goff. We've said this before. Is when you look at the games, yeah, he's throwing for 300 yards, but a lot of it is checkdowns. And the thing is, quarterbacks who like those checkdowns, you need a tight end who is healthy, and you need a tight end, like a Laporta when he's in that offense to kind of, it's another weapon to spread around the field. So if he is healthy, this team, I think, can overcome the defensive struggles they'll probably have. I think at least a little bit. I'm not saying they'll overcome it entirely, but they'll overcome it a little bit. It'll help. And just, when Laporta's in that lineup, it just makes them all better across the board, because you can't ask Goff. When Goff gets into trouble is when he's forced to air it out deep to guys like J-Mo and Amon-Ra, and he doesn't have anybody to rely on basically to check it down. Like, because when you take Laporta out, they're going to cover that check down with Gibbs. So, Laporta, I think, needs to be healthy, because all the other guys, we've seen what they can do when they're on the field. He's the one we've been waiting for. Like, is he going to be healthy? Is he going to be healthy? Is he so? I think Sam Laporta, to me, is my X factor.
Yeah, Shane also goes with Sam Laporta. What would you change your answer to, Scoop?
I'm going to go with one of their rookies, their second-round draft pick out of Shane. Is Shane no, Shane's not a Michigan fan. I'm trying to remember who it was that was a Michigan fan. But I'm going to go with Derek Moore, the edge rusher. And because I looked at their draft class, they only had 2 picks in the top 117. So obviously you really need to hit on those. And you also could have, I feel like, gone with Blake Miller, because he's going to be sliding in and switching over Sewell to the opposite side. But because of what they need their defense to be able to do, because of the position he plays, I'm going to go with Derek Moore. He was one of the top-rated – he was probably the top-rated guy that they drafted. He was one of the top-rated edge rushers in college football. He's considered a high IQ player. He's not the longest guy out there, but he's looked at as Shane. I haven't slept well, and I don't know how long. I apologize.
Hey, jet lag. I understand.
Yeah,
that.
jet lag for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Derek Moore as my other pick, because I think that he showed a lot in college that if he has the capability of bringing even 80% of that, not only physically but between the ears, and that's obviously one of the positions where that's really important as well. I think that goes a long way, especially in a division where you've got some pretty gettable quarterbacks.
Yep. 10.5 for Detroit Lions. I'm comfortable with the over. I'm comfortable with it. I don't love it, but I'm comfortable.
This is going to be another one where I'm going to say under, but where I think they finished like 10-7. I think they keep it. I think these over-unders are really good, because I think they're going to finish like right on that line.
I'm surprised you guys thought these were good, because I looked at them and I was like, are some of these too high?
You know what? Like, I know Shane said he has them finishing last at 8 wins. The thing is, this is just the roster I like the most in this division. So, like, and that's not saying much, because
they're the same as last year.
But
remind me, are we also doing division winner predictions during this?
No, we do not.
Well, that's also basically kind of what we're saying if we're doing the over under, and we're trying to
I just kind of haphazardly put out the over unders, just because people are interested in it, and we started doing it
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is how I'm going to pick the divisions because
Okay.
I'll
'cause
do that at the end. I'll do that at the end of preseason, but
Okay.
as of
You
right
know
now,
what?
Shane
Right
said
now,
under.
I'm not gonna lie. Right now, I would have had to say Minnesota.
You said 10. You said 10 and a half. I'm gonna go slightly under. I'm gonna say 10.
That's
So-
fair. That's fair.